Welcome to Inwards Outwards, an open mic event at Deb Kaufman's Art Space, featuring storytellers, poets, musicians, and performers from Berkshire County.
Inwards, outwards. Inwards, outwards.
Our bones shimmered as they held the moon. Our hearts were lions, red and roaring by the door, admitting no visitor but love. And then, quicker than a cricket, the truth ignited the blue flame that we spoke, and it rose as luminescence, like an egret with its pure white wings, flapping forgiveness, healing our differences, returning us to our reverence for the earth, to our flowing with the water, to our burning with the fire and our rising with the air, to the ether where we all dwell, distinct and united. So unmute, sing together, and also make the gestures as you will, following. You ready? I believe.
I believe.
I believe. The storm will soon be over.
The storm will soon be over.
I believe.
I believe.
The rain will go away.
The rain will
Go away.
I believe.
I believe.
We can make it through it.
We can
Make it through this.
Whoa, I believe. It's already done.
Already done.
I believe.
I believe.
Be provided. I believe we are guided every day.
I believe.
are guided.
Every day.
I
Every
believe
day.
I believe.
the way will be well lighted.
They will be
Delighted.
Oh, I believe.
I believe.
It's already done. It ends with all of our hands reaching forward. I can see you and feel you. It's already done.
already done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne.
Hey.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Joanne.
Love everyone.
Thank you. Okay. Susie Kaufman is on deck. Ani Crowfoot is next. Ani, you can unmute you.
Yeah, no, I'm not Ani Crowfoot. I'm Lorraine. My name is Lorraine. Yeah. And you know, okay, look, I know I'm in my bathrobe here, but none of yous look like you've changed your clothes very much recently either for the last 10 weeks. Yeah, no, it's a problem. And I tell you, the worst of it is, I mean, look at these nails. I'm not interested in the palette, the natural palette here. I have not missed a mani-pedi since I was 1 month old. I even have a picture of myself when I was 1 month old. Every single fingernail, fire engine red. I'm not kidding you. But listen, I tell you, the worst thing is this thing here. You see this thing here? Botox. I've had to miss every single appointment. It's a problem. I could put one of my Valium in this crack. and another one in here like the Grand Canyon. I think it would hold up really well. And then I could just drop them down into my mouth for a little bit of relaxation, which is sorely in need, I tell you. And then this thing, now Roz, I can see you've got a towel on your head too. You're very smart because it hides the zebra effect when the roots come out. I can't get into my stylist. Tell me, what am I supposed to do? So I wear a towel all the time. But let me just tell you, there's a real problem here. The worst of all of it is the waxing. I mean, if I try to wax, I'm gonna rip off all my skin. And I mean, I love the springtime too. I love the flowers and the buds, but I'm not into the primary growth forest down there. It's not working for me. And I don't think it's working for my husband either. All he does is he sits in that chair with his clicker. Clicker, 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 CNN, MSNBC, Fox. He doesn't care. And here I am, the entertainment channel right here. But he doesn't care. All he wants from me is wants me to go and refill his bourbon. And you know what? I think it's time for me to have a bourbon. So, nice seeing y'all.
Muted. Thank you, Ani. Okay, let's see. On deck is Paul Solivay. Up now is Susie Kaufman.
Blessings, Deb, and to everyone. Thank you so much for bringing us together. This is just beyond wonderful. So this story is called Road Trip. We drove to Tyringham the other day with the windows closed, of course. Going for a ride is such a giddy pleasure. It reminds you of the old reality, the one that wasn't virtual. Being out and about in the red Toyota, going over Summer Street past Highlawn Farm, where the cows are blissfully ignorant. Driving down through Lee past St. Mary's, the front door flung open to reveal an altar, an enormous brass cross glittering in the doorway. There's a young girl kneeling on the front steps in broad daylight, an apparition waiting for curbside spiritual takeout. You don't know if her sister's a nurse or her father's in the ICU, or maybe she just wants church, the way some people want a burger and fries at the diner. You wonder, are people praying more now or just watching Mad Men again from the beginning? You keep driving like this. You keep driving like this is some kind of cross-country road trip, past the gas stations and the fast food and the junkyard. Goodbye to all that. Abruptly, you find yourself in the countryside, empty, unchanged, and trembling. The fields and barns just as they've always been, solid, hayfield, and muddy, not impenetrable, invisible like data, like the virus. You wish you could smell the real world, but you don't want to open the windows. On Jerusalem Road, aptly named a holy place, you see your friend Eileen taking a walk. You want to scream, Eileen, Eileen, what will become of us? But you don't want to open the windows. So you drive by, your scream stuck in your throat like it's a bad dream, and it is. In the dream, each of us is masked and gloved in isolation, peering in at the screen with fixed attention. Each of us is trying to reinvent the village, peering out from the screen, a global Zoom meeting. No one has ever had this experience before. It is fundamentally unintelligible, this being all alone in a worldwide web of anguish. So you drive back down Jerusalem Road, out of the center of Tyringham, so called because there's a post office there. And you turn right on the main road and pass the most beautiful house in the world, old brick painted pale yellow, the color of cake batter, and on to Ashantulli Garden with the idea that maybe you'll be brave enough to get out of the car and walk up the hill to the ruin of the mansion to take the long view, look out over the valley. But Ashantulli is closed to the public, so you can't test your bravery. All you can do is go home and walk in circles in the backyard, giving thanks and asking for intervention, like the girls on her knees at the church.
Thank you, Susie. I know it's weird not getting everybody's clap, isn't it? I can't hear you.
What's weird is not hearing the laugh lines,
Yeah,
but I'll get over that.
yeah, I know. Hey, you know, okay. Now I see Anne is telling me that people can raise their hands, but I don't even see the whole list of people all at once. So it doesn't help me. I can't. But yes, Anne, did you want to say something? No, okay. Okay. Okay, so RT is on deck and up now is Paul Salovey. Everybody clap. Paul, you'll have to unmute you.
Okay, here
Okay.
we go. All right. Let's put the coronavirus in historical perspective. After all, tomorrow begins Passover. That's what we pray the virus will do, pass over and be gone. It's important to note that both Donald Trump and the Pharaoh reportedly made the same statements. Who knew something like this could happen? No one saw any of this coming. I take no responsibility. Now, let's compare plagues. The Egyptians suffered through 10 plagues. 1, the turning of water, the Nile, into blood. Every god and demigod knows this bit of magic, changing one liquid into another. Jesus turned water into wine. Even Harry Potter was good at it. Plague 2, frogs. Frogs everywhere. In this plague, or is this a plague or a treat? A little garlic, some butter, white wine, magnifique. Plague 3, lice. Okay, every parent can handle this one. Keep your kid home from school, some permethrin, and a fine-tooth comb, done. 4, wild animals and flies. That's a bit like Tiger King meets the Termex man. But the Pharaoh was really spooked by this one, and he promised Moses he would bon voyage to the Israelites. But just like Trump, we learned the Pharaoh was a pathological liar. In the words of Queen, he did not let them go. So God said, "You're such a dick. You want to play games? Here's plague 5, boils." The zits of a bygone era. Now, who here didn't have a zit or two growing up? It always seemed to pop up at the wrong time, like a big date or the prom. Some Clarisil and a good dermatologist puts you back in action. 6, a plague on livestock. Hey, call Peter. That's right. On this one, how unfair. It certainly convinces a lot of folks to be vegan. Thunderstorms and hail. So what's the big deal? We live in the Berkshires. What else is new? Locust. No biggie. Just reframe. It's not an infestation, but a new source of available protein. Yum. Consult the joy of cooking for recipes. Darkness for 3 days. Ever hear that nighttime is the right time? That's when the clubs come alive and rock. Too bad Studio 54 is no more. 10, death of the firstborn. Okay, now we have something as sinister as COVID-19. Trump is pushing hydroxychloroquine. God recommends lamb's blood. Trump said, "What do you have to lose?" God said, "Your life." I go with the man upstairs on this one.
Thank you, Paul. Okay.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, Ted Phelps is on deck. Up now is RT Roots Ross, who I think we're going to use the screen share for this one. RT, I can't see you, so.
Okay, so if I start talking, maybe you can see me, Deb?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is really fun. It's so good to see people. I haven't seen people in a very long time, and that's part of what I'm going to share tonight. So I was off for a month in India as this all unfolded and came back. It's about 3 weeks now. And it's a country of paradoxes, as I knew, but I'd never been there before. And I wanted to share a few photographs. I'm going to start with this one because it captures. Okay, let's start there. I hope this isn't too cumbersome if it's not going to. So you just getting one picture without my background? Maybe someone could answer me.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's what it looks like, but I can't really tell from this end. So here's this sweet namaste. I felt like this country was very much about people being so closely connected to their own divine presence. And at this age, this is how this little girl, as my friend and I were walking by, looking at some cows, greeted us with this namaste. So it's one of my favorite shots of the trip. But the stories I want to tell are about the things that I learned about the culture and the Indian people through some of the things that I might not have expected, like the traffic. So I'm going to move to the traffic. So, I think I have to keep going back to screen share. Let me see. Yeah, new share. I just have to keep going back to traffic. So on the streets, there are motorbikes and trucks and cows and people, and they're all going every which way. Did my screen switch?
Yes.
I can't tell.
Yes.
Do you see a truck now?
Yes.
I can't see what you're seeing. So sorry, I'm a little cumbersome with this because I didn't practice, sorry. So there's all these different vehicles and everyone's going every which way, and it really feels like an accident could happen in every moment, but it never seems to happen. And by the end of the trip, I realized that part of that was that, first of all, people are beep the horns constantly to get by one another, but it's not like we would find in, in our cities when someone beeps the horn, there's like this aggressiveness to it, and it's about get out of my way. There, it was more like, I'm going to show you another truck. It was more about like echolocation. Like, I just want you to know I'm here. And like, by the end, I started thinking of it like we see the birds swarming or the bugs swarming out in the, and they're just all going whichever which way, and they can kind of just sense how to weave in and out of each other. So that was a great lesson there. And I think I have one shot of me on the famous motorbikes. There I am. Are you seeing that? I can't tell what you're seeing, so I'm just going to keep guessing.
Yes.
All right. So that was one thing I learned. The other thing, and I'd heard this and I didn't know too much about it, but I went to the Burning Ghats in Varanasi, and how death is treated and handled as such a natural part of life there. So here's one picture of the Burning Ghats, and I wish I could see what you're seeing because it would help me. But,
yes.
There's a fire burning. Fire burning. It's been burning for 5,000 years, and it hasn't gone out in the last 1,000 years. And everyone that brings their loved one brings them on a bamboo funeral ladder, I guess it is. And they're covered in a shroud. And then they're covered with so many flowers, you can't even see the shroud. Hundreds and hundreds of flowers. And they're walked down these steps, and they're walked to the river and dunked 3 times. And then brought to these fires, and they're started from that fire that's been burning for all those thousands of years. And it was just an incredible sight to behold from a lot of different angles. Here's another angle of it, you can see. And then there's just the sunrise on the Ganges. So it's all facing this beautiful holy river. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is about the devotion. It was a sacred pilgrimage for me. I went to a town that was part of the Kripalu lineage, and I really didn't know what to expect, because though that is a part of who I am in my life, I didn't necessarily feel that it would touch me quite the way that it did. And the things that touched me weren't exactly what I expected. So for example, here, I'll just show you this. Let's get these. Sorry, I should have practiced, but I didn't. So here is a picture of a sign going up. We happened to go there when there was a big ceremony called Shivaratri. This sign is made out of marigolds and leaves. And I watched it get made. The manual labor in India is like so readily available. There was hundreds of people all day long getting ready for this. You see the guys up on the roof, and these flowers were strung from huge piles of marigolds throughout the day, and those letters were, made by stringing them appropriately. And there was a huge tent that went up for puja, and it all came down the next day. It was just like so quick, everything that got done, that looked like it would be so labor intensive, because there's so many people working together. So that was beautiful. And then personally, as a pilgrimage, I went to India. One of the things I was looking to heal, the sacred masculine and the divine feminine within myself. So inside the temple that I just showed you is this guy Dadaji. Any of you who are connected to Kripalu may be aware of this particular character, who I didn't relate to much when I lived there, but it was so powerful to be there doing arti every single day, in the morning and the evening. And then the last one I'm going to show you of that was a big surprise, which was another tiny little Shiva temple. It was so small. So this is the masculine and the feminine together. So you've got this lingam and this yoni, basically. And this little temple had a wrought iron gate that was really, really low to the ground. It was only like 4 by 4. And I smacked my head really hard walking into it. It really cracked my skull. Like, it hurt really bad. But I was also transported somewhere. Like, I felt like I just fell back into another lifetime. It was just incredibly powerful. And it was the kind of thing that was happening on a daily basis there if I paid attention. I wasn't paying attention that moment, which is why I banged my head so I wouldn't miss that one. And then we spent a little time up north, but what I want to finish with was just that the doctors up at the Ayurvedic hospital where we stayed for 10 days, and by now the virus was more being talked about a little more. There wasn't too much going on in India yet. But what the doctor said to us, he goes, and now the whole world is going to learn Namaste, because no one can touch each other. So that's my story.
Thank you, Arti. You have to hit stop share.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Can you see everybody clapping? Oh, wow, I see a lot more people. Okay, what happened? I lost my list. Okay, let's see. On deck is Janine Strong, and up now is Ted Phelps. Ted, can you unmute yourself?
There, I did that. And this is for Kristen to make you realize this is an Iowa. Global Snow Day. When our one child was 6, I wrote a small poem about the fun of staying home from school due to snow. I'm thinking of it today in the midst of this first ever global shuttering that keeps so many of us at home. The poem says, through the powder barrier, we see, we hear, no school, no job, no club. And then asserts this good thought, only snow can pull this off, can pull us off our separate tracks, can goggle and ear muff us from our race and blanket us together for a day. Yes, only snow has ever done that for me. And then came this beast, coronavirus, a microscopic fat ball, cutely named for its crown of thorns, an array of tiny pricks that penetrate and ejaculate fake news RNA, tricking our cells into becoming criminals. A mindless lump, yet killing, lying, and stealing all in one stroke. Our one child now lives as a nun in Thich Nhat Hanh's monastery in Thailand and is maybe their only Westerner right now. No more snow days for her. Ever since last July when she moved there, she has been like on the other side of the moon. Thankfully, she has been able to place a few video calls with us, so we know she is happy and well. The monastery has been closed since Christmas due to Corona. That must create a pressure even for monastics to get out, to talk with the outside, to be useful to the world. Last week, they started doing Facebook Live videos of some of their services. Hundreds attend and send up balloons and red hearts as they meditate with the monks and nuns. We watched the morning service last Saturday where they would be reading a scripture that lists the famous 5 big things to avoid if you want to live happily in the present moment. They chose to have the 15-minute reading be in English instead of Vietnamese. When the moment came, a kind and cultured female voice came loud and bell clear, filling the large hall. Discourse on the white-clad disciple, she began. My heart jumped. I had not expected this, but why not? She's their premier speaker of English, our girl, Sister Radiant Mountain, who turns 30 next week, read aloud to 100 monastics and the world the ancient ideas that first drew her to a community that dedicates itself anew every day to not kill or lie, not steal, and not screw up with alcohol or sex. The digital ones and zeros stream through tubes of glass laid in the oceans, carrying the medicine Buddha to the world through the powder barrier into our hearts. We were, as we all are now, blanketed together. Be well.
Thank you, Ted. It'd be good if everybody clapped. Yeah, because it's a beautiful thing to see, even though we can't hear you. Thank you, Ted. Okay, let's see. Colin Harrington is on deck and Janine Strong is next.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Janine.
This is my first iWow, so this is fun to do it in this format. I thought that was going to be. So I'm going to do a song, which I recorded and put on YouTube the other day, which is also my first YouTube video ever. But I was inspired by all of the parody songs that are being done. So I did one myself. Hopefully the sound comes through.
Wait a minute. Oh.
Can you hear?
Okay, now I can hear.
You could you hear the ukulele?
It seemed to have stopped, but I don't know. if
Oh, I
that-
did stop because I heard you talking. I stopped because then I thought, well, but it was coming through?
Yeah, I'm going to mute me.
Okay. Oh, the day has come. The world is bleak and COVID is causing misery. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand 6 feet from me. So darling, darling, don't stand by me. Oh, stand away from me. Oh, stand at least 6 feet from me. If the markets we look upon tumble and fall, or my bank account dies in this catastrophe, no, I won't shed a tear. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand 6 feet from me. So darling, darling, don't stand by me. Oh, stand away from me. Oh, stand at least 6 feet from me. This pandemic, we're in trouble. Won't you stand away from me? Oh, back away from me. Oh, stand at least 6 feet from me. Everything is closed and canceled. We all had so many plans. You should not touch your face. And please wash your damn hands. Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you, Janine. Okay. Okay. So Steffi Fletcher is on deck. Up now is Colin Harrington.
Thanks, Deb. I'm going to read a poem. The cat was humming about chickadees as she stared out the window at them feeding. What ordinary clouds showed up again today? But the breakfast muffins materialized quite smooth, flat like oceanside stones, imported fresh from the seashore in Brooklyn, Maine. They are delivered by long-haul artists in their cars, transfixed and dreaming as they drive all night. We painted them with mandalas of an acrylic technique, stone mandala paintings, a process of freeing the soul, or at least some respite from the world conferences of total bullshit. No one has ever overcome what emerges from the sea. How many grains of sand are in there in a stone mandala, winding its way back to the grinding waves? The drizzle and dampness are company to the cold. The birds hardly mind, it seems. The new virus in our midst lets us know, as if we didn't already, that we are not alone. Morning has a new fascination now. Every tree is unmistakable. New songs have emerged from many directions as birds become our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. On deck is Tomasz, and up now is Steffi Fletcher. So Steffi, you can unmute your, do you know how to do that? I don't know where you are, Steffi.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
yes.
good. Okay. Okay. The poem I'm about to read, in it I am thinking about Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, and also about Charles Ives and one of his very last compositions, which was a rather short symphony called Three Places in New England. And the last movement of that, very beautiful, is called The Housatonic at Stockbridge. I'm sure many of you know it. Once upon a time, there were miracles. Children were born. The sun rose every morning, and the moon shone, changing from silvery crescent to golden globe. Once upon a time, there was a miracle. The bard chanted of war, of the pity in war. He chanted of God's wrath, love, and the death of men, and of the faith that built a world again. Once a singer came to this gentle shore, and he sang a music to charm the ear. Chiming the Housatonic's lovely flow, he sang for us a miracle, just as the earth sings us miracles now. That's it. Not very long. And not
Thank you, Steffi. Thank you.
welcome.
So I'm going to mute you, Steffi. And let's see, Tomasz, is Jennifer Holy here? Unmute, Jennifer, if you're here. I guess she's not here. Okay, so Sonia Pilser is on deck, and Tomasz is up next.
Thanks, Deb. Hi, everybody. It's nice to be with you all. This is so touching to see everybody in their house. It's really great. So here's a song. This will be really short. Someday, when I'm awfully low and the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Oh, you are so lovely, with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose touches my foolish heart. You are lovely, never, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it, 'cause I love you just the way you look, just the way you are, just the way you look tonight.
Thank you, Tomasz.
Okay.
Okay, Jen Holy, if you're here, unmute. I don't think she's here. Okay. Jeannie Basses is on deck. Sonia Pilser is next. Sonia?
Let me, can you, let's see if I can unmute. I think I've unmuted. Can you see me?
I can't see you, but you're unmuted.
How do I do this? Let's see.
Speaker view, oh, I see you with the mask. Yeah.
Okay, you see me, but how do I get into the,
Main screen?
yeah, into the main screen? 1 second. Can you help?
I don't know. Can I?
Let's see.
It says it should be okay, I guess.
You're on the screen.
Am I on the screen?
Yeah, you're on the screen.
Okay, you don't.
Okay.
Forget about what you see.
Hi from the epicenter. I want to tell you about this mask that I got. It was as clandestine as a drug deal. We got it on. Somebody came with a car. You give money. They give you a paper bag, and you get a mask. So many could not understand why I would stay. Why I didn't go up to the country. Here's the short version. My hubby, Mort, had a knee replacement end of January and could not travel. When he could, it was already pandemic times. So we stayed in our apartment. At first, it was glorious. I had not been citified for years. Miles of walking on streets that were now unfamiliar to me. Jaunts across Central Park to the Metropolitan Museum, the Met Broyer, to the 79th Street Boat Basin to watch the sunset on the Hudson River, much as I used to do at Copake Lake. But things started to change. You can all hear me and see me? Hello? Yes, okay. Things started to change, to close down. It was slow at first. I went to the theater for the last time on March 11th. My tickets at Lincoln Center for Saturday the 13th were canceled. Walking with friends, we started to keep our distance. We jokingly elbow bumped. We still thought these were more or less normal times and went to a movie on 57th Street and 12th Avenue where there were 5 other people. More closings, the Met. That was a heartbreaker. But I kept walking. I needed to be on the street. I grew up on the streets of New York. As a child, it was much better than staying at home. I was taking things lightly as Mort sat glued to CNN. Then the numbers got serious. Several people sick, including my dear friend who I'd gone to the movie theater with. Skip forward 6 weeks, 5,489 New Yorkers dead, countless more infected. We wait daily for Cuomo's report, and I've promised our son not to even step in our elevator this week of the so-called apex. This is the most beautiful week in New York City. Weather in the mid-60s, blossoms on magnolia trees, tulips and daffodils. When I think of hardships that people over the world are faced with, I figure I can sit this week out. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Sonia. Okay, we're kind of, okay. Eleanor Winman is on deck and Jeannie Bassis is up next.
I'm unmuted. You hear me? Can you hear me?
A little bit.
How do I
Get closer.
is that better?
Yep.
Can you hear me
Yep.
and see me? Okay, but I'm
Yep.
not in the middle of my screen. How do I get myself in the middle? I don't know. All right. Well, okay. I'm not going to worry about what I see. All I see is you, Deb. So hi, Deb. Thank you so much for organizing this. I'm in Southfield with satellite internet, and I've been saying this for the last week and one day that I've been experiencing the Zoom tradition now. The Zoom thing is that I'm finally, with all of you now, we are the Jetsons. So we're the Jetsons. So I thought I would just kind of be a little silly tonight. I've got Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I see somebody else, I don't see myself. So that's fine. So I've just got a little beat going. I'm bouncing on my ball, and wherever you are at home, you might want to just sort of let your body beat and bounce. So boing, 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 boing. Let your head move, let your shoulders move a little boing, boing, boing. If you're anything like me, there's a lot of good story in this completely total fucking insane world we're living in these days. There's a lot of good story. And I'm kind of feeling like I've been given this massive reminder / gift of what it is I most love to do in the world, and that's play. And, you know, I mean, sometimes it works to have a toy. Like, this is the world's biggest slinky. Can you see it go? Woo! Woo! You know, you can have a fun toy. Woo! And then I've had this fascination, I haven't been able to eat it, with this potato. Sometimes it looks like a walrus. Sometimes I've seen a sleeping horse. Then it gets really interesting, and there's a little bunny rabbit in there. I would just like to remind myself and all of my iWow community that playing and laughing and being silly heads for more than a half of a split second is probably more important than it's been since we were like, you know, 9 or 10 years old, and we would laugh so hard with our friends we would pee in our pants. So I want to invite all my grown-up friends to play more. And if you want to play with me, I'm so out in the boonies. I mean, I haven't even done like a social distant walk with anyone in 3 weeks. You know, it's like I'm so far out there, but I have neighbors too. But anyway, mwah, thanks Deb for doing this and everybody at iWow.
Thank you, Gina.
Playing.
Okay, Jim Lawrence is on deck and Eleanor Winman is up next.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, I was trying to figure out what to write about. I was trying sort of not to write about the virus. And then I realized that anything I've ever written would have a different ending now. So I just exhumed one of my old stories and changed the ending. And here it is. Okay, it's called Bale, Fruit, and Yagari. Hailing a cab at 4:30 in the morning from New York City to Kennedy Airport is risky. Most exhausted cabbies have been waiting for this moment. Too early for traffic, they long to careen down highways that were bumper to bumper just a few hours ago. Here, they can experience the freedom that often eludes them as they race past life's limitations. You can put your life in their hands or pray. I prefer to be proactive and have devised a plan that usually works. First, I try to establish a simple connection with the driver. Good morning, I'm Eleanor, I say. Sammy, he grins, flashing a gold tooth. I shake his hand with a politician's sincerity. He's cool, wears a backwards black baseball cap sans logo, and has one long pinky nail suggesting he is either upper class or snorts cocaine. Great tattoo, I comment, pointing to the snake circling his wrist. Now my computer is a little stuck here. Secondly, I elicit his support. I need a favor, Sammy. I've recently had an operation and I'm hoping you can drive slowly so I won't be jostled about. No problem, my dear. I'm your guy. I climb into the tidy cab, feigning pain. What kind of operation you have, Sammy asks. I draw a blank. Not a single body part comes to mind. I'm a terrible liar and afraid of the evil eye. Finally, a flash of brilliance. Kidney stones, a non-threatening disease in case I've given myself a kinahara, which means curse. How they fix it, he asks. I'm wondering how I've secured the only cab driver in New York City. Oh, come on. Wait. I'm wondering how I secured the only cab driver in New York City interested in my disgusting computer. Wait. Oh, sorry, folks. I tried. I'm just going to take me off the picture and I'll read it on here. Okay. So let's start with finally a flash of brilliance. Kidney stones, a non-threatening disease in case I don't want to give myself a kinahara curse. How they fix it, he asks. I'm wondering how I've secured the only cab driver in New York City interested in my health. I proceed to do a Google search on kidney stone procedures, settling on shockwave lithotripsy. Last year, my wife and I were residing in Miami when I decided we had to get out of here, Sammy says. I cannot live in a place where no one takes my knowledge of Ayurvedic medicine seriously. He is driving slowly, so I listen as he offers me a health regime, starting with my bowels. Take notes. He is serious and waits patiently as I dig around in my oversized carry-on for a pen and paper. Okay, you ready? He asks, looking at me through the rearview window. I nod. Eat a half of cup of bale fruit and a table of jaggery with a scoop of powdered tamarind every morning. At bedtime, add fennel seeds to a glass of warm water and follow a Vata dosha pacifying diet. He attempts to explain the diet to me in great detail, but when he suggests very little salad or raw vegetables and fruit are allowed, I stop writing. Now for the kidneys. I suggest hibiscus root, ash gore juice, and banana tree trunk accompanied by meditation, hot oil massage therapy, yoga, and a stress-free existence. He is still under the speed limit, and I don't want to disturb the status quo, so I continue to ask questions. Does your lovely wife follow your advice, I ask, glancing at a smiling woman on a dashboard magnet. No, she does not believe in my ideas. When we go to a party, she warns me, shut up tonight, Sammy. Don't give out any of your stupid advice. People will think you're crazy, and that reflects poorly on me. Sammy leans back against the headrest and sigh as I watch the speedometer rising. I can't help but wonder, where is Sammy today? That's it.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to mute you, Eleanor. Let's see. On deck is Amelia, and up now is Jim Lawrence.
Hi, Deb. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good. Good. I was afraid it wasn't working.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Can't see me. Okay.
I know I see you.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good evening. I'm James Lawrence coming to you live from iWow News. Tonight's stories. A group of 4 millennials, 2 men and 2 women, were sentenced today to 10 years in prison for playing the game Twister in the Nude in Central Park. All 4 tested positive for the coronavirus shortly thereafter. One of the distraught prisoners, after receiving the diagnosis, jumped out of a prison hospital window in a failed suicide attempt, as the window was on the first floor. President Donald Trump, weighing in on the sentence, said, "It's a tremendous injustice, a tremendous miscarriage, really the worst sentence like this in the history of our country. And only I can fix this terrible, nasty, awful, really bad Miss Kofifi. We'll see. I will probably pardon them, but we'll have to see. You never know. It could happen." At which point the press corps en masse slipped into a coma. Speaking of comas, here's today's Fun with Kofifi 19 brain twister. Describe 2020 to someone who has been in a coma since the day before the 2016 election in 5 words. A 6-year-old from the Bronx, when asked if she knew why school was out for everybody, said, "Yes, it's because it's that we're out of toilet paper." Former President Joe Biden, when asked how he is spending his time in isolation, said, number one, responding to texts takes 16 hours, sometimes more. Number two, after that, I try to get some rest. Latest scores from the sports desk. Major League Baseball's Zoom Scrabble League, Los Angeles Dodgers 327, New York Mets 154. 2019 Most Valuable Player Cody Bellinger hit 3 40-point words to spark the team to victory. Also from the sports desk, here's a post that's gone viral, is very popular. Idea: we all combine our $1,200 stimulus checks and buy the New York Mets. Moving on to millennial mind games, this from online dater Sally Bagali, quote, guys will stand 5 foot 8 inches from you and call it 6 feet. And, oops, got a little problem here. And another, there's going to be a lot of pressure over the next few days to talk to friends. And got a technical glitch, so, oh yeah. Talk to friends and family, fight it, stay positive. This just in from our literary desk, 30 days, half September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except March, which has 8,358. Did I just touch my head? Oh my God. And now from our latest feature, Meme Watch, These Gems. Picture of a dinosaur coming straight down toward the earth. A dinosaur looks up and says, oh God, the economy. Oh boy, I'm having a lot of problems here. Okay. The trendy meme phrase, I can't go because of coronavirus, is considered whiny, boring, and weak, whereas the phrase, I've sworn an oath of solitude till the blight is purged from these lands, is considered heroic, valiant. They will assume you have a sword. Impossible to check if you really have a sword because of coronavirus. And now please join me in a moment of silence for the people who agreed to live with shitty roommates because they wouldn't be spending much time at home anyway. And this just in from Dr. Debbie Kaufman from our What Up With Health desk. If you keep a glass of wine in each hand, you can't possibly touch your face. And finally, this personal note. Are you a landlord whose tenants missed rent and now you're upset because you can't evict them? If so, please send me personally an email about your personal story to imgoingtokickyouраss@gmail.com. That's all lowercase, no punctuation marks. It's not for a story, but taking a page from former Vice President Joe Biden, I'd just like to personally kick your ass in the parking lot behind this radio station. And that's the news from Radio IWOW. I'm James. Don't forget to keep your distance. Lawrence.
Oh, man, that was great.
Yay!
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Okay, where are we? Jim. Okay, on deck is Antoine. And Amelia, you are up next. Amelia, I'm going to unmute you.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Okay, sweetie.
We're good. We're good to go.
We're good to go.
All righty.
Get a little closer to your microphone if you can.
Okay.
Better.
How's that?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
Really? You need more? Okay. We're going to have to work with that.
Okay.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm glad you're all here. It was quite an adventure just getting you all together. With this corona thing, I am single and I live alone. So I'm very accustomed to being home when I'm supposed to be home. And what I've discovered is I have a chance to watch spring happen in my yards, starting in, I don't know, February, March. These little purple flowers started in my front yard. It just covered them, and people are going by taking pictures of them. I don't know what they are, but they've been there before. Can you see them? Anyone? No, wait, here we go. There, can you see them? Anyway, we got them, we got these.
We've got bloodroot coming up now. And bloodroot has this really amazing leaf that when it opens, it's like, how's that? No, there you go. Okay, I could see me there. It's quite, the pattern is quite beautiful, and then it grows big. And when it grows big, it just covers my whole yard. I had like 5, 6 of them a couple of years ago, and now there are hundreds of them. The same thing with these blue flowers. They're all on the side of my lawn, my house, and they're in the back, and they're upper, and it's like a Monet painting for me with all these beautiful colors back there. It's such a blessing. And what I've used this time for is I've called people that I don't normally talk to. A couple of friends in New York City who I've known since the 60s to make sure they're okay. Some friends in Florida to make sure they're okay. It just feels like I want to reach out and let them know that I care about them. And I wouldn't normally have that opportunity, except now we have this happening, and I want them to know I'm thinking about them. So it's good to be here tonight. I'm not going to go too much longer. I love spring is happening. I hope you all get a chance to visit with spring and let it become part of your day and your life. Thanks.
Thank you, Amelia. Okay, let's see, where are we? Up on deck is Dan Ruderman. Up now is Antoine.
Hello, Deb.
Hello, Antoine.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that Dan is following me. It makes me feel good, first of all. I just like Dan, always have. I'm going to start with the fact that I'm going to follow the theme because it's easier for me. I tend to be a by the moment individual with observation, so I like to feel and then move. Finding the good. And everything I'm going to tell you, either I believe it's true or it is true. Not sure, but I definitely believe it's true. Finding the good. I first of all don't feel that it's possible to find the good without enough time or too much clutter in this vessel. I love the fact that this particular time has given me and now my friends and family the opportunity to clear these transducers, these vessels that carry thoughts, carry healing potential, carry love, joy, even some anger. Gives them time to rid themselves of the things they don't want, so they then have space to actually find the good. I think that once you then find the good, you find out that you can change the story. The story I'm asking of you all to think about changing today is that, yes, we're people. If you believe in anything called the divine, you also must know that you're also a healer. Healing is when you can take something that's somewhat negative and make it positive. Healing is when you can get someone who's sad to become happy. Healing is when your kid has a boo-boo, but you put a Band-Aid on it, and for 3 days later, you take it off, it's healed. So one, I want you to all believe that in the midst of finding the good, clearing these vessels, that we have the story that can be changed, which is that we are all now healers. I've been being called a healer for quite a while now, and I would like to invite more of you to help me change the story, because I don't like being by myself out here. And I know that many of you probably have thought the same thing, but now we're all together. I'm going to give you a great, great story, and it's actually true. When you clear your heart or this vessel and you align it in a way that you can actually feel all the innate intrinsic things that have been privy or possible to us at all times anyways, when you get away from going to your day-to-day jobs, when you get away from the traffic cut off, the jams, when you get away from having to respond to all of your business emails, when you get away from the fact that your kid has homework and he's gone all day but you don't see him, you all of a sudden have this opportunity that's immense to find the good in so many situations. I actually can say I hear one of them running down the hall, but I hope that, okay, come here. I have to do it, people, because this is finding the good. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Come over here quickly. Quick, 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 quick. These are two. Come over here. Okay. Finding the good. I did not expect for these two to come in, but this is what happens. These are two of my 7 children who I have found, and it's so good. And I've changed the story for me and them. I'm gonna let them run back off so I can tell you the adult story. All right, go. Good night. Okay, go, I love you. I'm on. Okay, wow. So that's my life, and you just have to learn to find the good in everything that's happening. So I know I maybe have a minute and a half left, so this won't take long. 60 days ago, I was searching Facebook, and I kept saying, wow, this child is in a coma. I think I'm a healer. No, I know I'm a healer. Do I help? Do I find the good in these people who, 1, can't afford it, but 2, probably don't even know who the hell I am? So 10 days pass, I go, oh my God, they're still posting the kids in a coma, the kids in a coma. I think I know I can do it. So lo and behold, I email and Facebook and messenger the mom, and I said, hey, you may not know me, but I believe I can get your child out of a coma. And she said, is this a prank? I said, no, it really isn't. But if you want to ask a few people about who I am, do that and then call me back. 2 days later, she calls me back and said, hey, you may be onto something. So I said, I'll see you up at Hillcrest Hospital at Rehabilitation Center, and I'm going to show you, Mom, how to find the good. She said, find what? I said, she didn't say find the good. I'm following my theme, people. Okay, but I said, I see that this child is looking to come out of there. How do you know? I said, can't you see the piercing in the eye? It's still. We're going to tap the head on the forehead and the shoulders, and I'm going to show you how this child starts to blink. If we can find that that child is in there and there's a cell that's alive, which we know there is, we have found something to gravitate to. And I'm going to show you how to trail that child, your child, out of there. So lo and behold, now I then say to the mom, if we see the blink, we can take that child and wake him up completely. The next day, this child is completely out of a coma. And what I'm saying to you is, I know because I walk around open, and then I give this mother the same opportunity. And she said, well, if my baby is now moving her eyes, I said, that means she's gonna talk. She said, do you really believe that? I said, no, she's gonna talk, she's gonna walk, she's gonna move her legs, she's gonna do everything. Now, 2 weeks later, she's doing all of these different things. But why I'm telling you this story is, one, it's true, it's on Facebook, is that if you just open your hearts and then realize we're actually all healers, you just have to have the ability to be open, clear, and see what someone can't do, see what they help them feel it, but you must be clear, you must be open. Okay, thank you. I'm glad to be a part of the team. Bye-bye, bye.
Thank you, Antoine. Thank you, Antoine.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll try, because I know a lot of people want to share and it gets to be a long night. So Maggie Mitchell is on deck and Dan Ruderman is next.
Hello.
Hey, Dan. You're muted, Dan.
Thank you, Antoine. Hello, everybody. So beautiful. Actually, I've noticed when things are really intense, we say things like, if things are really good, we say, that's unreal. And if things are really weird, we say, this is surreal. And when things are really bad, we say, this is a nightmare. And when things change a lot, we say it's a roller coaster. And I've also noticed that in relationships, whether it's with a lover or a friend or a family or a group, we sometimes act like things are on a seesaw. Like if I'm doing really well, they're not doing well. And if they're doing well, I'm not doing well. And so it reminded me of a story that everything is a story, that everything is analogy. And that's the theme of tonight. And I love Antoine's story and his weaving that in. And it reminded me of a story by the late Gregory Bateson, who was the paramour and husband of Margaret Mead, the cultural anthropologist. He said that in early attempts at artificial intelligence with the big computers at Stanford, a bunch of scientists got together and they said, what can computers teach us about ourselves? And they thought and they thought, and they said, we're going to ask the computer, how do humans think? So they punched it into they had to type out a punch card because it's an old story, and they fed it into the computer and the lights came on and they went off and things whirred and spinned and sputtered, and it went for days. And finally, it stopped spinning and whirring, and the lights stopped flashing, and all the scientists gathered around very excitedly as a punch card came out of the computer, and they read it, and this was the answer. That reminds me of a story, because that's how people think. And my story is that the first 2 months of 2020 sucked. I was ill, I was in the hospital, and I was weaker than I've ever been in my entire life. I recovered just in time for a global pandemic, which is always fun. I grew a beard then, and I'm keeping it going. But I'm employed, I'm grateful, I feel strong, and I know that right now there's other people that are on the downside with everything that's going on. They're on a seesaw. But I'd like to think it's not a seesaw. I want to think that it's instead that thing that I don't know the name of that's also on the playground, that you have to run, you jump on it, you hold on, and all your friends hold on, and you go spinning around really fast, and you have to remember to breathe, and then you jump off of it, and you're all feeling, you're laughing, it's silly, a few of you will fall down, and then eventually we all fall down. And we lay in the grass, and we look up at the blue sky, and we're full of joy and wonder. Namaste.
Thank you, Dan. You know, it's weird not having everybody clap or laugh, right? It's definitely a different thing. Kelly Bancroft is on deck. Maggie Mitchell is up next.
Hi everyone. It's nice to see all the little squares with everybody's little face in it. So to honor the theme, and in light of what's happening now in the world, I thought this Chinese proverb would be appropriate. So a farmer and his son had a beloved stallion who helped the family earn a living. And one day the horse ran away, and their neighbors exclaimed, "Your horse ran away, what terrible luck." And the farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not, we'll see." A few days later, the stallion returned home, leading a few wild mares back to the farm as well. The neighbors all shouted, "Your horse has returned and brought several horses home with him. What great luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not, we'll see." Later that week, the farmer's son was trying to break one of the mares, and she threw him to the ground, breaking his leg. And the villagers cried, "Your son broke his leg, what terrible luck." The farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not, we'll see." A few weeks later, soldiers from the National Army marched through town recruiting all the able-bodied boys for the army. They did not take the farmer's son, still recovering from his injury. Friends shouted, "Your boy is spared, what tremendous luck." To which the farmer replied, "Maybe so, maybe not, we'll see." The moral of this story, of course, is that no event in and of itself can truly be judged as good or bad, lucky or unlucky, fortunate or unfortunate, but that only time will tell the whole story. The wiser thing then is to live life in moderation, keeping an eye, an even temperament, taking all things in stride, whether they originally appear to be good or bad. Life is much more comfortable and comforting if we can accept what we're given and make the best of our life circumstances. Rather than passing judgment on things and declaring them as good or bad, it would be better to just sit back and say, it will be interesting to see what happens. So hugs and health to all of you.
Thank you, Maggie. Thanks, Mag.
Welcome.
Beautiful. I love that story. Okay. Susan Solovey is on deck. Kelly Bancroft. We haven't seen you in a long time, Kelly.
No, I haven't been able to get out there, but this was so cool to do it virtually, and I love seeing all the familiar faces.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks.
So I have a song. It's kind of like a prayer. I invite you to revive the light, to extend this thread, to ensure that the seeds that we plant will grow, will grow, will grow, will grow. And we rely on each other to learn the ways. We embrace the unknowing of these mysterious days we live. Is our fate sealed in this culture that we grow? Is our fate sealed in this garden that we sow? Please, please, oh, please, please, for our children's children, for our children's children. Sometimes it seems so dark. Sometimes it feels the world is falling apart. But I plant these seeds of hope. We plant these seeds of hope. I invite you to revive the light, to extend this thread, to ensure that the seeds that we plant will grow, will grow, will grow, will grow. And we rely on each other to learn the ways. We embrace the unknowing of these mysterious days we live. Is our fate sealed in this culture that we grow? Is our fate sealed in this garden that we sow? Please, oh please, for our children's children, for our children's children. Thank you so much. So glad to be part of this. Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. It's beautiful. Anne O'Neill is on deck, and Susan Solovey is up next. Hey, Susan, where are you? You have to unmute you.
Great to see you. Hi, guys. All good? We're holed up at the Solovey compound. And I just jotted down a few thoughts because I really wanted to share finding the good. For years, maybe you too, for years, I felt that there was some disaster, some environmental disaster coming our way. I don't know what it would be. I don't know what would stop the craziness of all the destruction. I know people don't change their habits. I know we march and nothing happens. I know the politicians give speeches and nothing changes. I thought something big has to happen. And then, yeah, Katrina came And that was big, big storm, terrible storm, death, destruction, warm waters, rising seas. But then everybody just rebuilt and went back to business as usual. Then came Irene and Sandy and Maria, just to name some of the big superstorms. Flooding, rising seas, death and destruction. And we went back to business as usual. Then there was droughts and typhoons and fires, and then bigger fires, and then countrywide fires. And still we built and got busy again. We argued about what to fix and how to fix it, and policies and politicians, and we marched, and then time marched on and business went on as usual. The Earth had its 10 warmest years on record. Scientists screamed, glaciers melted, and we still went on at a feverish pace. Building, burning, driving, cruising. Politicians argued. I never thought that a tiny strip of DNA would bring it all to a halt. A tiny strip, microscopic, of DNA would stop all of us in all the continents, all around the earth. Stop the commuting cars, the rumbling trains, the buses, the cruise ships. The rumbling of cars has been so quieted that seismologists are measuring a quieter Earth right now. Measuring and hearing things they've never heard in the 50 years of listening to the Earth. Everything is quieter. So all I can say is, after all that frenzied activity, a microscopic virus stopped cruise ships from polluting, factories from burning carbon. Our Mother Earth, Mama, she was getting hot. She had a fever. Our Mama, Mother Earth, needed to take a breath. She needed a breather. Now we have the fever, and we need to take a breath. I am terribly sad to see people hurting, businesses hurting, or anyone sick. But as we catch our breath, Earth is taking a breath. And I hope that we can cool our feverish pace and help her cool her fever too.
Thank you, Susan. It was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, hon.
Love you all.
Okay, Ronnie Cunningham is on deck. Ann O'Neill is up. Hi, Ann. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, there, I know. Susan, I want to thank you for setting me up so perfectly as well. So what I wanted to share today are 3 prayers that I use often that are really getting me through this time. And the first one is the only one that I didn't write. It comes from a spiritual tradition I used to be a part of called the Joy Fellowship. And it's a prayer for paradise on earth. And the prayer goes, Great God of light, we behold your plan unfolding, whereby all spiritual clouds are dispelled, impurity and error cleansed from the realms of spirit and matter. The age of light and joy is being born. Through your infinite compassion, misguided forces waken unto truth, and negative practices cease, while forces of light unhindered restore the world to peace. All of nature receives your loving influence and finds its rightful place. Peaceful clouds move across brilliant skies, and the fragrance of countless flowers floats upon the air. Abundant harvests glorify the earth, every corner filled with happy voices. Boundaries between countries vanish, and ancient conflicts disappear as if dreams. All people are united, encircled by your light and guided by your wisdom. Through service to humanity, all are blessed with health, peace, and prosperity. Great God of light, strengthen us with courage and wisdom to follow your will and realize paradise on earth. So as I said, that is the one that is the global one, and that's the one that I hadn't written. The next one is one of personal surrender, basically, and it is me trying to keep myself on an even keel and do as little damage as possible ever, let alone at a time like this. And it goes, God, I'm done. It's not working. Me trying to schedule and control and arrange and determine and manipulate, and schedule and control and arrange and determine and manipulate more, all to get what I want when I want it. Please take everything I do to fill the emptiness within, to put on a facade of being okay, to have others please tell me that I'm okay. Please take all my notions of good, bad, right, wrong, better than, less than, and instead allow me to see the absolute perfection in each and every moment. Please take all my goals, my dreams, my plans, my schemes, and replace them with opportunities to serve and to grow in your likeness. I'm yours, I surrender. And the third one is one that's just a reminder to me that I do trust that things happen for a higher good. So the prayer is a very simple one. May everything that happens today be for the highest good of all. If it be thy will, may I see that. But in all cases, may I trust that.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne. It's beautiful. Okay, Ming Lash is on deck, and Ronnie Cunningham is up next. Hey, Ronnie.
Yes, I have unmuted. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You know, when one goes to many rehearsals to perform concerts and then the concerts don't take place, it's very sad. And there were 3 Irish concerts scheduled in March and none of them happened. So I would like to sing an Irish song. The words are written by William Butler Yeats. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow-white hand. She bid me take love easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, being young and foolish, with her did not agree. In a field by the river, my love and I did meet. She came through the boom, da 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 da, with snow white feet. Sorry, lost the words. She bid me take love easy as the grass grows on the weirs. But I, being young and foolish, was soon so full of tears.
Thank you, Ronnie.
And I want to say thank you and a toast to you for setting this all up. It's wonderful.
Oh, good. Thanks, Ronnie. Okay, moving on. Yay! Robin Ziemer on deck, and Ming Lash, you're up.
Hi.
Hi.
So, hi. I just love everybody. I fall in love with everybody whom I know and don't know. So this is wonderful. I have a little movement prayer that I invite everyone to do. And in fact, you can just do the motions first, and you can invite you to stand up too if you want, or anything. Okay. So this is when we have a lot of free time. We don't know what to do. What do we do? I'll do it. I'm gonna do it, and you're just gonna follow this. I'm not gonna say it. And then okay, so this is, what do I do? What do I do? And you can say this too. What in the world am I going to do with all this time in this house all by myself? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook. I'm going to clean. I'm going to call my friend. I know what I'm going to do. But maybe my friend doesn't want me to call, or maybe I said the wrong thing, or maybe, oh, I just can't decide what to do, but I'm glad for all of this. I'm glad that we're here. Everything that I am, everything that I'm not, everything that you are, everything that you're not, I'm glad for. And then just the breathing. Breathing, just in, out, in, breathing in and out. So as you breathe in and out, imagine the divine universe breathing in and out. The divine is breathing us. And we don't have to think about what do we do. We just be, we just breathe. I just love all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ming. Thank you.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, Julie Balter is on deck, and Robin Zemer is up next. Hey, Rob.
Hey there, everybody. What a wonderful evening, Deb. Thanks so much for putting this together and making this happen. I'm going to read a poem that I wrote very recently. It's kind of all over the map, but here we go. It's called When It Was Different. Tell me when it was different, you asked, drawing up a chair. Well, it was just like the dream I had when my demented cousin appeared as happy as could be, and thinner too, wearing an apron tied in a bow, covering from waist down her paisley flowered dress with glass buttons. She was cheery enough, as was her dog, even though she never had one. He was as tall as a stuffed giraffe you might see in a high-end toy store, a poodle, all curly with a bright blue collar. Yes, things were different then, with maskless faces and lovers holding hands. Friends greeted one another with a handshake, or a kiss, maybe two, on each cheek, and you could buy soap in a store. Things were always gender labeled then. You were on automatic pilot. Pink and blue, you'd say? For whom? So that's the good news. Looking now as you do through a genderless window, with views as far as you can see, people with names, but not their pronouns. That sounds funny, you'd say. I love pink and blue. I'm just me, not queer. But time changes everything, and this all might be true. Yet what rests still in my mind are questions like, how far are we going? Or in which direction do we fail? Or is there a path with light paving the way that might lead us to a place where everyone can stay? A home for us all with freedom to speak, and people who listen right deep in their hearts. We all sleep and awake under the same moon and the sun. We're community-minded now, without separation. All humankind are partners now. May we pray that the veils of separation have lifted. Rejoicing is heard in the distance of spirit as old forms have crumbled, structures which could no longer survive. Be quiet, trust, have faith in the power of love and all that is not yet known.
Thank you, Rob. It was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, hon. Is Kitty Kiefer here? Just unmute if you're here, Kitty. No? Okay, so Eileen Marcus is on deck and Julie Balter is up next. Hey, Julie.
Hi. Oh my God, it's so great to be here with all of you guys tonight. This is so super special for me. I stuck to the theme. March 7th. In between relationships, I've spent more Saturday nights than not dining with my geriatric parents and George Winston. The soundtrack hasn't changed since the 80s. But tonight, this single public outing in an entire week feels like sneaking out. Sorry. Hey! But tonight, this single outing in an entire week feels like sneaking out the bedroom window for a motorcycle ride with a bad boyfriend. Dessert, the sweet consolation of knowing all of you are sacked home too. Oh, Corona, the sweet neutralizer of the socially awkward and lonely-hearted. Finally, we all suck equally at gym. March 11th. Like you, my new year started with lofty intentions. Lose weight, take yoga, make friends, meet a soulmate, cultivate a positive attitude. But Corona has relinquished me from such overreaching goals. My revised list instead spills with Netflix series to watch and the challenge of how much content I can cram into a free month of Showtime. Sure, I could take a virtual vinyasa class with a global nation of yoga teachers namasteing home, but for now, I'm too busy multitasking with Cherry Garcia. Gluten and I have gotten back together. The makeup sex is amazing. March 21st. I told you earlier about my wobbles of self-pity, and sometimes I do worry over which web conferences I'm not virtually invited to. But what I need to confess now is the very thing I have strived to conceal my entire life. I possess a superhuman power, self-isolation. So otherworldly, somebody should create a comic book character about me. An only child, an introvert, an empath, an avid reader, an HSP, all rolled into one tender-hearted human being. I'm endowed with special abilities to spend extended days, even weeks alone, watching waves roll over the shorelines or photographing Portuguese tiles, marveling at God's creations, both in nature and human form. On my planet, we call this ecstasy. March 28th. Anxiety and melancholy are my kryptonite. I've been trying to keep my shit together for my entire life, but now the entire world is one disruptive marketing campaign, terminating old agreements to be high-functioning, well-adjusted humans. Finally, the need to stay in bed all day or to announce we are losing our fucking minds is a universally applauded status symbol. April 4th. While suited up in my best gloves and mask for the Trader Joe's debutante ball, my face slicked with sweat from this science fiction social scene. I flashed back to some years ago when I would sometimes ruminate over ways to end one's life. That's what I remembered now as my hands carefully sheathed and Purell and plastic gripped a shopping cart with food filled to the rim. Witnessing my instinctive will to protect my own life, a life filled with family, photographs of world travels, a small team of fellow superhero misfit friends, and 3 different flavors of ice cream. Underneath my mask, what you couldn't see were the corners of a smile. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you. It was great. Okay, is Sharon Coleman here? Just unmute, Sharon, if you're here. No? Okay. So actually, I'll go after Eileen Marcus, and then Roz will close with Roz. So Eileen Marcus, you're up next.
Almost last. First of all, a shout out to the Phelps, because I'm sitting here with my new friends, Frick and Frack, based on Susan's croaking. I ordered them online and they watched me. They're not as good sounding as yours. And I loved what Ming did. So I want to ask you, as I'm reading, you can do a beating heart, you can do a heart sign, or you can put your hand over your heart, because I am writing about modern love. And here goes. 21 days ago, he messaged me on Tinder. If you would like to communicate better, my number is 555-555-555 after 5 tonight on Lunch Now. We talked every day since. I accepted his, oh, you know what? I'm reading the wrong thing. I am so embarrassed. Wait. This is happening to everybody. All right, it's gonna be the same. Ready? I'm a woman on a mission to find my soulmate. No pandemic will stop me. Just look at love in the time of cholera. 1 week before social distancing became a thing, I received an intriguing text from a man on Tinder. His message stood out right away, bold and strong, saying so much in a few words, akin to Ernest Hemingway's 6-word story, for sale, baby shoes, never worn. Bill let me know he was real, hardworking, living alone, and interested in meeting me. A rarity on Tinder for you single folks. His exact words. Hello, Eileen. If you'd like to communicate better, my number is after 5 tonight or on Lunch Now. 23 days later, I have a VB. Not VD, venereal disease, a VB, a virtual boyfriend. Turns out what I thought would be the hardest time to date has been a truly eye-opening experience. No outside distractions, just him and me on the phone. No waiters, noisy bars, crowded art gallery, sorry iWow participants, or movie theaters. No plans to meet and then running late. No worries about what to wear. Just me and him stripped down to our isolated real selves. We moved from talking to FaceTiming quickly, and that truly is intimate. The first time he called me, I picked up. No makeup, no time to do my hair, just me, ready to be seen. Our FaceTime conversations last about an hour and 24 minutes every night for the last 23 days. That is more true dating time than I've ever had in my life. And because he is real and interested and interesting, no sex chit-chat, real conversation about our families, our pasts, our days, and our feelings. Neither of us can wear unmatched socks. We both love raspberry jam with the seeds. If Frank's hot sauce is not available at the stores right now, Pete's will do. Our music playlists overlap. Our higher powers in our life are key. We both own 3 pairs of cowboy boots. Stepfathers are not our strong suit, and Disney movies melt us. During this time of isolation and loneliness, this truly is a modern love story. I can almost feel his breath on my neck. Our prognosis for meeting as unclear as the pandemic.
That's awesome. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, hon.
Sorry about reading the wrong one first.
Huh?
Sorry, I started off with the short version.
Fine. Okay, I'm going to mute you now. Okay. So I'd like to share a poem that I wrote. I'm on, right? Yep. Called Facing Fear. Once upon a time, fear was here. I didn't want fear to be here or anywhere near. I wanted it to go away. to disappear. I made it wrong. It should not be. I was frozen. I was not free. I tried to ignore, avoid, deny, dismiss. I did not want any part of this. I wanted wonder, joy, love, and bliss. All I saw was fear, fear, fear. Nothing else could appear. I tried to box it up real tight, but I was still filled with fright. Bigger and bigger it grew and grew. There was nothing I could do. I told a story. Fear is bad. It is not good. It needs to go. It really should. Over and over again and again. Fear is bad. It is not good. It needs to go. It really should. Over and over again and again. And then I heard what I said and told this other tale instead. Fear is not bad. It is good. It just needs space to be understood. Fear is not bad. It is good. It needs to move as it should. Fear is not bad. It is good. It needs love to be understood. What could I do? I had to try something new. So I explored it bit by bit, loving every part of it. I noticed with my heart and eyes its color, shape, weight, and size. I breathed in, I breathed out. I let this fear move about. I gave it space. I felt it shift. The fear transformed into a gift. As more and more love appeared, all that fear disappeared. As more and more love appeared, all that fear disappeared. Thank you. Okay, so I think I wrote the list right and got everybody signed up. Roz is our last performer, unless somebody reminds me that I missed them. Okay, Roz Reese, you're up. Oh, wait a minute. Hold, please. Eric and Frankie, did I miss them? They didn't sign up. Okay. Well, Roz, are you somewhere?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Deb.
because it's just 9 o'clock and I think I got everybody.
Beautiful. Thank you. I just want to say how exquisite it is to see everybody in their spaces. And I just want to share who's here in my space.
We can't really see. It just looks like a dark blob.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it's my doggy. All right. So I'm going to sing a song. I'm going to sing two parts, two choruses to the song. And before, I just want to give you, I want to tell you how it was created. So my mom is a composer, and before or right around the beginning of the coronavirus, I went down and she shared this melody with me. And I came back to the Berkshires and the melody just stayed with me. And then I was FaceTiming her for the first time on the Housatonic Bridge over the Housatonic. And she said, "Rosalind, will you write lyrics to this song?" And I said, "Well, it's not my priority right now." However, it was a greater priority because in the middle of the night, lyrics came to me, and the song has somehow been a mantra for me. Okay, and I'm a little nervous, and I'm not accustomed to, okay, but here we go. Oh, how I wish for heaven on earth, heaven on earth, where love ignites a great rebirth. And oh, how I wish for heaven on earth, where love is our song and the place we all belong. And just imagine people on the street sending love to all, every being that we meet. And if you're feeling despair, please know that love is there, and you'll find yourself in heaven here on earth. Oh, how I love that heavens on earth, heavens on earth. We have had a miraculous birth, and oh, how I love that heavens on earth, and love is our song. Here's the place we all belong, and look now, see the people on the street, walking hand in hand, sending love to all we meet. And because we all care, love now filters the air, and we find ourselves in heaven here on earth. May we all find heaven here on earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. It was beautiful. Thank you, Rosie. And Rosie's mom, Barbara's here somewhere, who wrote the melody for that and inspired the lyrics, obviously. So thank you. And thank you, Barbara, wherever you are. So sorry, one more. Eric and Francine, I think, are going to sing a song for us.
Thanks for
Yay.
bringing us in.
Thank you.
Even though we were bad people and didn't sign up.
I didn't sign up, and I only sent like 1,000 emails. Okay.
There are places I remember all my life, but some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall, some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more. We love you.
We love you. We love you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, everybody. That was wonderful. It was like we did pretty well technology-wise, huh? Not bad.
Yeah.
It was absolutely great.
That's
Yeah,
right.
thank
Everybody,
you.
just
Can we
like
all clap?
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Keeping us
Thank you,
together.
Deb.
You're a rock star, Deb.
Yes.
Great job.
Bye-bye.
Take good
Bye.
care, everybody. And
See you.
Stay safe,
wishing you
everyone.
all well. Be well. Live from your heart. Breathe fresh air. Walk every day. Find the good in everything.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
All kisses.
Bye.
Bye.
This is to everyone.
But I want to leave this party.
Now you can hang out and chat. I don't have to turn it off.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Good night, everyone. This was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Deb. It's so good to see all of you.
Good night, sweet people.
You too, Julie.
Bye. See you soon.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Friends, be safe.
Night, Kelly.
Night.
Night, Deb.
On boy. How do you shut it off?
Dancing all night, Amelia.
Good night, Deb.
There's leave meeting, lower left, lower right. Good night, Deb. Thanks for that lovely poem.
Thanks for your poem, Deb.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
We couldn't get our camera on, but we heard the whole thing. Virginia Douglas.
Douglas!
Yeah.
I miss you.
I miss you, Deb.
Oh man, it's so weird to hear your voice just coming through the box. Are you good? You guys are good?
Yeah,
We're
we're
great,
great.
yeah.
We couldn't get our camera on, but we're good.
Oh, where are you?
Texas.
Texas. Take good care.
We're going to show you some cows, but we couldn't get it
All
going.
right. Are you coming to the Berkshires ever?
June.
Yeah, right. When you can leave. Yeah.
That's-
Okay.
Nice.
Lots of love.
That's beautiful, Ted.
Bye, Catherine.
Good night, Deb. Thanks.
Bye.
Good night, all.
Bon nuit.
Bye, Ted. Ted and Deborah always stay till the end anyway. It's wonderful. Bye, guys. I love seeing
I
you.
learned to do that as a
Love you.
bye, dear.
Right.
Inwards, outwards.